defense can only play this good for so long.
Hot takes, big reactions, and your calls are incoming.
This week, it's really going to be crucial.
The Sports Blitz.
They're playing championship football.
The new Sports Blitz.
You can say what you want.
On 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Michigan Eddie here. Go Blue Truck Series. Everyone out there back 10. My daughter was at that Texas UF game. She's a sophomore at UF, and I tell you, those youngsters are playing for Billy Napier. I tell you that much. And they beat themselves in their 3 losses. I'm glad they righted the ship, and I expect a lot of good things happen out of Gator Nation. And just remember, they tried to run Harbaugh out of town after the third or fourth year, and look how that turned out. 4 Big Ten titles, haven't lost Ohio State since whenever. By the way, Michigan, the state of Michigan owns the state of Ohio, Lions, Michigan, and Detroit, by the way, and we own Alabama too, by the way. So be careful what you wish for. But I gotta say something to the freaks and geeks of Seattle. You have awakened a giant in the Tigers and our fan base. The way you treated some of our fans at Comerica Park the other day, because I've been listening to my people at my home radio station back in Detroit. I've been hearing their behavior and crap. And then you got the manager, Dan Wilson, who's like the mailman for Mrs. Doubtfire, who's saying, well, we've handled Terry School before, so we'll handle him at home in Game 5. Well, you just woke up Terry. He doesn't need any more motivation to whoop your keister. When he played at Seattle U, he lost Game 5 against the Indians last year, and he's going to take it to you guys. And you know what? Cleveland used to be public enemy number 1 on the city that I despise the most. Notice I didn't say hate, because I respect Cleveland, the mistake by the lake. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I cannot stand Seattle. That's a cesspool. And by the way, some of these quotes, I credit Mike Valenti from 97.1 The Ticket up in Detroit, my hometown station, by the way. So I got to credit him with some of these one-liners I got because they're awesome, and he's a Sparty, but I won't hold that against him. Anyway, the people, to the Tiger fans, I'm the people's caller here in Panama City. I know we've been on a roller coaster. I know we feel like we're at Cedar Point on the banks of Lake Erie on the Magnum XL 200 with Millennium Force. By the way, it's the greatest roller coaster park in the country and in the world. You know, we've been at high, low, whatever, anxiety pills, whatever. We're going to take Game 5. We're going to take it to the Canucks in Toronto, and we're going to be all right, and then we're going to take on the Dodgers or the Phillies. And you know what? We can win this thing. We got the pick. If we can play like we did the first half of the season, now from right before the All-Star break on, we'll be just fine. Stay the course. It wouldn't be prudent, like Dana Carvey said in Saturday Night Live. And Go Blue beat those Trojans out of USC. What say you, man? I'm pumped up. Those Mariners suck, man. Let's go. I mean, I can't stand Seattle. You know what? I went to Seattle one time. One time I was coming back from Korea when I was in the Air Force, right? Flew through that airport, SeaTac. That's a dump. They can take that city and just carve it off and just float it into the Pacific.
I'm with you on the Tigers.
Hey, hold on. You know what they said? So we had an orange out for game 3. And there's this guy, a Tigers fan, that was a little bit big, right? Mm-hmm. But it was an orange out. And this Mariner fan goes, "You look like one big fat pumpkin." Hey, dude, keep your comments to yourself. You know, I know thick skin, I'm military, thick skin and all, but you don't know if that guy had a medical issue. Because, you know, I was overweight because of my cancer and MS. You don't know. But to walk into our house and talk to us like that, you should have got your butt kicked out of Comerica Park, man.
Hey,
that's why I'm upset.
Yeah, I understand that. That's and you know what? With the biggest thing that,
and I'm not being all woke. I'm a tough dude now.
Don't become a snowflake now. Because listen, Michigan.
I'm not
Michigan
no snowflake.
Listen.
But I'm telling you, some people have reasons why they might be obese and overweight and all that. Because I was one, and I found out why I was because of the cancer and the MS. That's why. And then when they fixed it, I lost that weight. I didn't have my digestive things working right. You know?
yeah.
So that's why I have no love for Seattle. And I hope we just I wish that, man, my son's playing in the WWBA down West Palm Beach. You know, that mercy rules and travel on perfect game tournaments.
Yep.
I wish MLB had one. I hope we mercy ruled them after 3 or 4 innings, bro.
Yeah, that'd be good. You're going to have your
Bradley,
hitters.
Court, Carp, they just go off. And I'm so pumped up for Game 5 tomorrow. We got Red Wings hockey playing the Avs, the 100th year of the Red Wings playing the Avs, the 2 original 6 teams. Got the Pistons, got Michigan. Man, and they got Mosley playing Niceville, and Mosley's going to beat Niceville in the fishbowl. It's going to be awesome, man. What say you? I'm done now.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you're exactly right. The thing is that with the Tigers, you've got to have your run support. Your pitching's going to do good. We appreciate the call, by the way, Eddie. I appreciate that. But you got to have Gleyber Torres. You got to have McKinstry. You got to have Torkelson. All those guys have got to hit good, and that's going to be the key. And I know he's a big Michigan fan, and they're probably going to beat the USC Trojans this weekend, even though, Jeff, you picked against them. You picked the Trojans, I believe. So either way, we'll move on. Let's talk about this, because when you look at what Texas did to themselves, that's the key. That's the key. I mean, you have, and I made some notes, because you had 2 misses on Wingo, and then the tight end, Jack Indries, or whatever his name is.
Indries.
Yeah, so he was wide open.
Yep.
Overthrew him.
Wingo. Typical Arch.
Yeah, Wingo was wide open.
Yep.
Overthrew him.
Yep.
I mean, wide open. Overthrew him. No pressure, just overthrew him.
Yep.
So, do you have a lot of friends that are Texas fans?
Yeah.
Are they tired of Arch yet?
We are. I mean, everybody is, but we have nothing. Like, this season's a waste at this point in time. Like, I mean, it's done. We have no backup. I will say Caldwell came in for one play and threw a 25-yard rocket.
Yeah, it looked pretty good.
One. I mean, we saw one, but I mean, that's about it. But we're all just kind of hanging our heads right now.
So what I'm looking at as far as with the way the offense is going, because the defense, they're loaded with 5 stars. They're playing good enough to win ball games.
They still got exposed, though.
They got exposed, but
I feel like
the offense put them in that position.
And they're on the field all the time.
And that's the difference.
So, yeah.
And so the running game, and I know we talked about this last week, it is no good.
No.
Like at all.
No. Wisner had, 19 yards? I mean...
11.
11, okay. Yeah.
8 carries for 11 yards.
Yeah.
Arch carried it 15 times for 37 yards.
Our offensive line is awful.
And
it is bad.
I don't understand. And I know that Sark knows what he's doing. Obviously, in the past, he's had, all of this success, but and they asked him, I don't know if y'all heard this or not, but they asked him, they said, well, what do you think about this? And what do you think about it? He said, well, you tell me there's 135 teams in college football that could go through what we just went through and come out successful.
Yeah, no. That honestly, that pissed a lot of Longhorn fans off, because that should not be your mindset at all. I mean, you were the preseason number 1 team in the country. Going to Florida should not be a thing for you. You should not make excuses for anything. It doesn't matter where you're playing at. There is no excuse. Get in there and play. Win the game. It just, no.
I mean, Jeff, are you shocked? I mean, honestly.
No, I'm not shocked.
See, I'm shocked. I'm a little bit shell shocked. I'm a little bit shocked because they told us, everybody told us, that he was the number 1 quarterback in this year's quarterback class.
Yeah.
His grandfather was taking questions at the beginning of the season, talking about, no, we're staying. Yeah. And everybody's saying, what? Why would you stay? You're the number 1 pick. Everybody thought, every draft board had him as the number 1 pick. And everybody gave the excuse for the first game against Ohio State, because that's Ohio State, and their defense is so good.
And they're defending national champs.
But I'm shocked. Yeah. You're not? Why aren't you shocked?
Shocked. No, not shocked.
Why, though?
I mean, at some point you knew that Florida was going to have a game, even though the downslope and the coach is on more than a hot seat and everything, you just knew that they had athletes, but, this all talk about Lagway being hurt and everything, there's some point where he's going to be healthy. They made him look like an above average quarterback. 75%?
Yeah.
Ball got 100 yards. Dallas Wilson got 100 yards,
Stud, by the way.
It really wasn't a whole bunch of guys, really, to me.
But I'm not talking about Florida.
Well, why not? That's who they were playing.
Right. But I'm talking about, are you shocked that I'm just going to be honest, and no offense, Brian, but how bad Texas looks. It's not.
No offense taken.
It's bad. It's the defense is getting exposed. Mm-hmm. The quarterback doesn't look good. Mm-hmm. The run game is non-existent.
Yeah.
The wide receivers.
The run game was horrible.
The wide receivers, when they do get open, they don't get the ball. Mm-hmm. Like, just A and B easy things that you're supposed to be able to do. Now, I gave them the benefit of the doubt playing against Ohio State and said, well, you didn't give up that many points. You were at a hostile environment.
You lost by 7.
You lost by 7 points. That's no problem. Don't drop them out of the top 10, which most people didn't. But they just kept staying in the top 10, and then they beat.
Well, that was UTEP and San Jose State.
Right. But still, even in those games, there were things that were like, okay, I'm not a police officer anymore, but this would be a clue, right?
Yeah.
That your quarterback was leading and rushing in those games.
Yeah.
You had missed opportunity. You were still running the ball because your wide receivers wasn't open. You were getting chased out of the pocket. You gave up sacks to San Jose State. You know what I mean? Like, he was rushed and hurried against San Jose State. Against UTEP, they stopped the run of the actual running backs. You're the University of Texas. Yeah. You're supposed to be longhorned up. You're supposed to be able to run the football. But what in the world is that all about?
I don't know. I mean, the signs were all there. We were in denial at the same time. I mean, we just didn't want to admit it.
And when Micah Parsons got traded from the Dallas Cowboys, there was a comment made by a certain radio host that said there's a chance that could it be that Jerry Jones is wanting to give up this season, to give up Dak, to bring in the golden child.
Please, God,
Arch.
no.
I mean, that's how crazy this is. That's where we were.
Yeah.
But now you're telling me we got problems.
Yeah.
And it's
Oklahoma's going to put the nail in our coffin this week.
Wow!
I'm sorry, I hate Oklahoma, but I mean, I don't see how.
Okay, that's the shock right there.
I don't see how it happens.
He's saying, Mateer's not. Yeah, he's going to be back. He's not back yet, but he'll be back for that.
Do
game.
I believe in Oklahoma? I mean, he was calling for Brent Venables' job almost
at the beginning of the season.
Before everything.
But I don't believe in Texas anymore at this point in time. So I don't know.
Well, I mean, y'all took 2 losses. I mean, not counting the playoffs, okay?
Yeah.
You took 2 losses at Georgia last year. Now you got 2 losses and you're going to play Georgia. You might have 3 if you're talking about Oklahoma beating y'all. I mean, that's sad.
Oh, they might have more than that. I mean, right now, Vandy's going to beat them. I mean, I'm sorry. They just...
See, Jeff, he's more of a history of what they've done in the past.
Yeah, and the patterns aren't broken usually.
They're usually not.
Yeah.
But there are those years that they happen. Alabama last year with Vanderbilt.
Oh, yeah.
And Vanderbilt's actually really good. And I agree with you. If you can't, let me just look at you straight in the face. If you can't run the football against Vanderbilt, you're going to be in big trouble.
Yeah, 100%.
Because you've got to be able to run the football. But we've got to go to the Red 70s phone line. We've got Edward on the phone. Edward, how you doing, my man? What's going on?
Hey, what's going on, y'all? I love calling in, especially if I got a topic for y'all. Is that all right? I hope you guys don't mind.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead, buddy. What you got?
Hey, man, I want to give a shout-out to my daughter real quick, dude. She just turned 1 today. I love you, and her name is Blossom, but I want to say hello to and shout-out to her, if that's okay.
Happy birthday, Blossom.
And her dad is her. Oh, no, I'm her dad. My bad. Her grandpa. sorry.
Who's the daddy?
Who's your daddy?
You're wrong. My bad. Her grandpa is baseball royalty, and he was a great baseball player. He played in the MLB. He won a World Series, and I wanted to give a shout-out to him as well, if that's all right.
Cool. Yeah, that'd be great. What's his name?
Candy Maldonado.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, Candy Maldonado's his daughter. Her and I have been dating, and we have a daughter together.
Wow.
There you go.
Candy Maldonado. Yes, I had several of his baseball cards, and I definitely remember him. Well, and yeah, absolutely. You ought to get him to call in and say hello to us one day.
We are actually headed to the Dominican Republic next year to go visit him for the first time, actually.
Oh, fantastic.
We're bringing the baby. We're bringing the baby as well.
Well, that's great.
That's true. And then here's my real question for the day, if that's cool.
Yeah.
All right, here it goes. My question is, I know there's rivalry in sports. It's gone on through the beginning of sports. But do these sports that don't get a lot of attention as much anymore, like NASCAR, tennis, a few others, do they need that individual rivalry again, almost like where one person used to hate each other and it was so good for the sport, where people would just watch it to watch two people basically almost duke it out every time?
Yes, I agree with you on sports, and I have a strong opinion about this right now because growing up, you got what you got on TV. And so now there's so many streaming services, there's so many things online that you can watch that now they're not putting what they want, they put what's most watched. And these things like NASCAR, most people like to go to NASCAR. They don't like to watch NASCAR unless they're huge NASCAR fans. Same thing with tennis. Tennis, they love tennis, but they don't like to watch it. Same thing with golf. They don't, not a lot of people love to watch the golf. But either way, if you have those rivalries in those that make breaking news, whether they get aggravated at each other or they say something against each other, like the olden school days where you'd have the tennis, where you have John McEnroe and those guys, very vocal, then yes, you'll bring more attention to that sport and that'll pull that sport up. But you're exactly right. If there's not a rivalry in the lower level sports of where people don't watch it as much, absolutely, they need that for their game. That's why golf right now, they're kind of wondering a little bit because they don't have a Tiger and a Phil going at each other.
Yep, and that's what I was saying. Have we gotten to this age of just PG-ness, like where, this guy argued, so we're going to give him a fine, or we don't like this? What is going on? What happened?
No, I agree that they try to curb it a little bit, but you better believe with all your heart and mind that reality TV is still a big hit, and people want to see people throw punches, and they want to see people scream at each other. So,
and it sucks, and I'm sorry I said it like this, but it's awful. Remember the Mike Tyson-Jake Paul fight?
Yeah.
Oh, come on, people. This isn't what I thought we would be, honestly. I feel as though sports are losing their edge, and these companies are digging to the bottom of the barrel for something.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. We're going to have to take our break, Edward, man. We appreciate your call. Make sure you tell Blossom we said happy birthday. And when we come back, we are going to talk to Alan Watson at Golf Plus. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson here at 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
The Red 70s studio line is now open. 850-215-6290. ESPN Northwest Florida. It's the Coach James Hale Show.
Wanted to be the voice of the Crimson Tide for more than 50 years. I finally am. Please don't get me fired.
But everybody wants to know, what's the difference? What is it like working for Saban and then working with Coach DeBoer?
Weekday mornings 7 to 9. ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida with your Thursday's weather. The rest of the day, there will be a moderate breeze out of the northeast, some sun, and 84. Mostly clear skies tonight, cooler at 67. Tomorrow, mostly sunny and a moderate breeze right around 17 miles per hour with a high of 79. About the same at 82 Saturday, and we'll have sunshine. This forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida, Mid-South Lumber, best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Full residential and commercial projects from start to finish, Wheelhouse is ready to help. From the moment you have the thought to build to the moment you step through the front door of your finished project, Wheelhouse Consulting and Engineering will walk you through all of your aspirations. Engineering, site plans, live architectural design, construction, 3D rendering, permits, and more. Wheelhouse Consulting and Engineering, 850-896-6597. That's 850-896-6597. And online at wheelhousebba.com.
In a world full of noise, one name cuts through it all.
Amplify AI.
We help HVAC, plumbing, and home service pros get found fast. More leads, more calls, more results. This ain't just marketing. It's AI-powered performance.
Amplify AI.
Hear the roar.
Call Lee at 850-299-1269. Amplify AI.
That bear ain't just for show.
Scott Graham here from Thursday Night Football on Westwood One. Jason Benetti and Devin McCourty have the call as Week 6 of the season kicks off with NFC East action between the Eagles and the Giants. Philadelphia, the defending Super Bowl champions, are coming off their first loss of the season last week. Can they get their repeat hopes back on track? Find out on Thursday Night Football.
Eagles versus Giants. Coverage starts at 6:30 on 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida. You found us inside the CBC Construction Studios. For everything in the world of golf, it's the Watson Report. Thursdays at 4:20 with Alan Watson from Golf Plus. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Don't forget, you can call in, you can text in on the Red 70s phone line, 850-215-6290. Also, don't forget, tonight is the night. Thursday night football, Eagles versus Giants. Coverage starts at 6:30 right here on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. As always, on Thursday, we got the man, the myth, the legend, Alan Watson from Golf Plus. Alan, how you doing today, my friend?
I'm doing good, but I tell you what, right as you guys were calling me to grab me, somebody on Back Beach decided to take my lane from me. Luckily, I had enough room to swerve out of the way, but I about got a Chevrolet just tattooed my side there. So, man, these people, whatever. I know we're supposed to talk about golf, but these drivers were terrible. Yes, thank you. It was awful.
Yeah, and were you on Middle Beach or Back Beach?
Still beating here. And I was on Back Beach heading home, and just, we weren't even up to speed yet, and they're just like, I guess I'll change lanes, and never mind, this dude's car is sitting right there, whatever. So,
yeah, you said it was a Chevrolet, so it wasn't a white Toyota 4Runner, right? That's what my wife drives.
Oh, what your wife drives? Oh, my God.
I was just making sure it wasn't my wife, because I just making sure.
No, it's not your wife. No. All good.
But, man, we're glad that you're safe.
Well, there's Kentucky and Tennessee's down with the fall break.
Yes.
And then I put 2 and 2 together 2 days ago that this government shutdown, there's federal government workers down here enjoying a vacation.
Okay.
And so that's the reason why we have the extra traffic right now.
Right. I've seen the Kentucky and the Tennessee folks, and a couple of weeks ago it was Georgia. So, yeah, we've seen all these fall breaks. But yeah, man, I tell you, I'm gonna need a moment to recover. But go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'm glad. I'm just glad that you're doing good and that you're all right and that you don't have to go see Brandon at Recommended Collision Center.
I don't want to go see anybody at anywhere as far as that goes.
That's exactly right. Well, we're in a little bit of a down season with golf right now, but I did want to read something that I had read about Jon Rahm. He barks at the Marshall during the first round of the Spanish Open. I'm not sure if you saw that, but they, obviously after, doing good with the European win in the Ryder Cup, it says that the Marshal who marked his ball told him that it was okay. And Rahm immediately looked at him and said, "Don't tell me it's okay, please. Thank you."
Oh, wow.
So
I didn't see that. So.
Yeah, that just happened. So, then the Marshal apologized as he walked away while Rahm continued complaining and saying it's not okay. So there you go. That's something there. We've been talking about it, and, from the Ryder Cup having all of the mess going on, all of the stuff going on as far as in New York where everybody was, having to get apologies from, everybody for the way the Americans acted. Now are we going to start seeing more and more voice things happening on the golf course? That's my question, I guess.
Well, and it's a question that won't be answered for a little bit longer. Until we get back into the full swing of tournament season and you have more big names out there. But it's certainly possible, especially if people feel like they can get under somebody's skin, if they feel like they can make Rory angry or whoever. I think you are bound to see somebody see how far they can push it, shall we say? And we talked about it last week, but in other sports, jeering or cheering against or booing or whatever, chatter in baseball, whatever you want to call it, all that kind of stuff is pretty normal in most other sports to a certain degree. It's just golf that is sort of not used to that atmosphere. It's just, again, not to say it never happens, but that definitely felt a little bit more aggressive at the Ryder Cup. And so your point is well made, is like, is this going to continue? And the answer is, I don't really know, but it's certainly possible. I think the next time Rory tees it up on American soil, you could have some people that maybe have a few too many drinks inside. Let's see if we can stir the pot again. But we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, and playing sports my whole life, when during the games like basketball, they're going to cheer the whole time, and then especially when you're having to try to concentrate to shoot a free throw, or even with baseball trying to get the pitcher to mess up or trying to get the batter to mess up. Even the little kids at this point, I umpire some baseball around town, and some of the leagues are trying to tell the kids to stop screaming right before the pitch is thrown. But the kids, how they are, they're not worried about that. And then the coaches are kind of getting aggravated, and then they come to me and I'm like, listen, they're 10 years old. I mean, they're going to have to learn eventually. And I know that golf is a gentleman's game, and it's always had that respect and that level of respect. And I don't know. It seems like it might. I agree with you. Let's say that first, but then the second part is that it seems like it is kind of getting that way. And really, you touched on it, on why I believe it's getting that way, is because if somebody doesn't like a golfer and without a doubt that you can get under their skin and it bothers them like it did Rory, then absolutely, if my favorite golfer is going against Rory, then absolutely I am going to try to do everything I can to get him to mess up and shank one.
Yeah. I mean, I just think with golf, it's time and place, because golf requires so much concentration, and the fans are so close, unlike football or soccer or some of the other sports where the fans are quite a bit further away, and you can sort of concentrate. I talked to a guy the other day that had played football at a high level, and I said, when you're down on the field, I'm assuming you don't really see anything beyond, or hear anything, or feel anything beyond those 22 players and those fewer refs and umpires that are out there. And he's like, you don't even notice the 80 to 100,000 people that are there. I mean, you hear them in between the plays, but as soon as you're concentrating on the play, you're really in that moment. And so all the cheering and stuff, other than obviously make it hard to communicate, you don't really think about it as much. But golf is such a quiet game, and the fans are so physically close that, even things like camera shutters and stuff back in the old days when cameras had, which professional cameras still do make those noises, but camera shutters and stuff, you would see caddies telling people hey, can you please wait till he finishes his swing before you start taking those photos and stuff like that, trying to minimize the amount of noise. And so I don't think this is going to go away right away, but I also don't think it's going to be a perpetual problem, at least not at every event, every time, on every shot with every player. I don't think it's going to be that kind of consistency. I think it's just going to be occasional, and probably somebody who's trying to make a problem more than just a normal fan who's just there to enjoy it. I know, the last time I was at a professional golf event, it's been a few years, but it was at Augusta at the Masters in 2019 when Tiger won. And I mean, most people don't say a word. Most people just sit quietly and watch. Maybe as the players are coming off the tee box or off the green, they might yell at them, go so-and-so, or great shot, or whatever like that. But it's mostly encouraging. It's mostly fun. And it's mostly just trying to see if you can get them to even look your way or sign an autograph or something. It's not usually mean-spirited. But something about that team event format just got everybody so riled up, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. So let's get back into how is everything going at the shop. I mean, I know you got McLean there slaving away now, and so how's everything going? How's the transition going? Give us an update.
Yeah, so we've got some new flooring coming in a couple of weeks to fix a spot that never got done the first time for some strange reason, and we need that fixed as we make the transition. McLean's doing a good job. He's been back for about a week now, so he's kind of getting back in the swing of things. He's been in the golf business the last couple of years, but just not in our shop doing what we do, so he's had to kind of not relearn, but just kind of, like I said, just get wet again on this stuff and get his feet wet. So he's doing good. We've been really busy with fittings and repairs. I mean, the repairs just don't stop. Like and the custom builds and stuff, and that's what we love doing. So we're excited about that. But yeah, the shop's staying pretty busy, like you mentioned before. We've got all these out-of-towners down here enjoying the beach on their break, and the weather's pretty nice. I mean, today's absolutely glorious. So, we're excited. It's not golf season per se, but it's getting to be perfect golf weather, and so that makes people want to play. I know I've got a match lined up this Sunday, so I'm excited to get out on the links.
Yeah, and that's what we were going to say, that, with all these people, obviously with the traffic, how it's going with that, and then you got people wanting to come in and play golf. It's just really maybe it's not golf season on TV, but it's golf season on the links. That's the truth.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And just seeing them all going. So as far as, I know that you're getting out of the retail stuff and you've got a lot of stuff there. Do you have any sales going on that the listeners can learn about right now? Because I know some of them golf hats are sharp. And then do you also have some polos and all that kind of stuff over there as well?
Yeah, don't have much left in clothing. Only have a tiny little bit of clothing, so nothing really much there. I do have a 50% off bin of headwear. We had some headwear that got just a little bit dusty and dirty in the move, so we've got a little bit of that where you can save some money, and all you're going to have to do is wash it, and it'll be perfectly fine. And then we've got $35 off every bag in the store, and then we've got a bunch of other bags that are marked down way more than that. I've got some bags that are marked off as much as $60 off. And then we got all the shoes marked at 50% off the original retail price. So that's below my cost. I'm losing money, but I just need to get a lot of these shoes out of there. So shoes, now is the best time to buy, because whatever I don't sell on this sale in the next week or two, it's going to my warehouse, and it'll all be online, and the price will go back up, and we won't have them in the store for everybody to take advantage of. So if you need golf shoes, ladies or men, come on by. We've got a great sale going on.
That's awesome. Now, I've never asked you this, and this might be off topic for you because I didn't send you these questions today.
That's okay.
Who do you pull for in college football, or do you have a team?
Yeah. I went to school at Alabama back in the early 90s.
Come on.
Yeah, Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
So that's my school, and ironically, so I have a twin brother, and ironically, he went to Auburn at the same time that I was going to Alabama. So my parents were sending checks to both schools, which broke their heart because they went to Alabama in the 60s. So my family's mostly Bama folks. And so anyway, but yeah, that's who I pull for.
That's what I'm talking about. And Bone Crusher is shaking his head in the studio, just so you know. And you know what? Even though he's shaking his head, it's just because he's jealous. That's all there is. So either way.
No, he felt bad for your brother because he couldn't keep his grades up to get into Bama. Oh, no. I'm just joking.
It's opposite, probably.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he's got 2 degrees from Auburn, so my 0. I never finished. I went for a few years, and just some things happened, and I never got done. But that's okay. I'm doing all right without my degree. But I sometimes I wish I had I'd probably be like one of these people that has some weird degree that they never use. I'd probably be like, yeah, I have a degree in Spanish flute, and they'd be like, what do you do with that? And I'd be like, I don't know. I don't know what I do with it.
But did you have a good time?
Well, I had a good time, but that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother time.
That's why I didn't finish.
Very often.
Yeah, exactly. That's so funny, but that's cool. Yeah. Well, the Alabama Crimson Tide obviously has got a big game this weekend, and Jeff doesn't seem to think that Missouri's got anything, but I do.
They're the show me state. They ain't going to be showing nothing.
I mean, what's the line on this game? Was it like, I'm just guessing, is it like 12 or 14 for Bama? What is it?
Oh, no.
No, it's not.
Was it 7.5?
I think it's 7.5. Yeah, it's pretty close.
That seems more reasonable. Well, that seems more reasonable because it's in Missouri. So we got to go travel. And, as great as Ty Simpson's been playing and as great as Jeremy Bernard has been, and we got a couple of guys who are finally learning how to catch the ball again and all of that. So I think it's great. And they seem like they have a lot more discipline this year than last year. And I almost am glad. I know it sounds crazy, but I'm almost glad they lost that first game because they needed a shock to their system. They needed to realize that, this is a new era of college football, and just because you're getting paid doesn't mean you get to win. And, just go ask Texas. And so I think this is a trap game, and I think that this could be ugly if they don't take it real seriously, because even though that scoreboard looked pretty good at the end of the Vanderbilt game, that game probably technically was closer than it looked like. And I'm going to pull for my team no matter what, but I'm also going to respect the fact that Missouri's undefeated and they have SEC talent. So we'll see what happens.
So the spread is 2.5. I'm sorry. And then
all the way down to 2.5.
Yes. Well, it never really was up at 7.5. I thought it was around 7.5, but it wasn't because they're playing on the road in Columbia. And there was the guys joking this morning about how, all the different things to go see near Columbia, Missouri, and one of them was to go visit the penitentiary.
Oh, my gosh. Either way. Well, listen, we're going to have to take our next break, and we appreciate you, Alan, man. We're glad that you did not get in a wreck. And my wife did send me a text, and she said, just so you know, I did have to get close to someone on Back Beach today because someone was sticking out into my lane. So there you go. So either way, I'm glad you're safe. And I'm definitely glad my wife's safe. So we appreciate you, Alan. And, man, everybody go see Alan at Golf Plus. He's got some great deals going on. And we'll talk to you next week, man.
All right, roll tide, guys.
Roll tide. Thank you, brother. When we come back, we are going to dive into some more of this college football season. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Text in now on the Red 7T studio line. 850-215-6290. Have you ever wanted to reach out and smack someone?
You can't fix stupid, but you can divorce it.
The new Sports Blitz. Rants, hot takes, and huge reactions are incoming.
And on behalf of 70% of the Alabama fan base,
feel the burn.
We want a damn divorce.
The Red 7T studio line.
You cannot give LSU extra opportunities.
850-215-6290. ESPN Northwest Florida.
He has not turned the ball over.
Get in the game.
Keep the adventure going this holiday season in a new Kia from Bill Bird Kia. Bill Bird Kia now offering 0% APR for up to 48 months, plus a $500 APR bonus on the purchase of a new 2025 Kia Sorento during the big fall savings event going on now. You'll get the perfect balance of comfort, safety, and technology. It's the best family SUV with third-row seating space, providing extra comfort for the entire family. Bill Bird Kia, the home of that 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Stop by and see us at 2435 East 15th Street or anytime at BillBirdKiaPanamaCity.com.
Offer from Kia Finance America for the purchase of a new 2025 Kia S and LX models. $20.83 per month per 1,000 financed in 48 months. Quantities limited. $500 APR bonus is applied as down payment and no cash value cannot be combined with other finance offers. Not available on balloon financing. The 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty is a Bill Bird Kia warranty. See dealer for complete details. Offer for well-qualified buyers must take delivery from dealer stock through 11/3/25.
Scott Graham here from Thursday Night Football on Westwood One. Jason Benetti and Devin McCourty have the call as Week 6 of the season kicks off with NFC East action between the Eagles and the Giants. Philadelphia, the defending Super Bowl champions, are coming off their first loss of the season last week. Can they get their repeat hopes back on track? Find out on Thursday Night Football.
Eagles versus Giants. Coverage starts at 6:30 on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Now, we're live and local inside the CBC Construction Studios. The phone lines are open, the opinions are flowing, and the arguments are just getting started.
You cannot give LSU extra opportunities. With just one loss, they can sneak in there.
They're playing championship football.
The Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson is back, and we're putting you in the game.
He has not turned the ball over.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Don't forget, you can call in. You can text in on the Red 7T's phone line, 850-215-6290. You can listen in on Facebook. You can listen in on YouTube. Watch us, see what kind of shirt Jeff's wearing today. That'll be kind of cool. He's wearing that Bobby Boucher. But either way, you know, when you think about, and we didn't get a chance to talk about it, but my beloved Yankees last night lost. So it's over for the Yankees for the year. Now, I told you how I felt about, realistically, Aaron Boone's job being in jeopardy. And you've got to understand a few things of backstory. So all of the same people that have been in the management positions, they've been there for a long time. How do I know that? Because last night on the broadcast, Derek Jeter, who everybody loves, he's the captain. He's a legend. He says last night, there's a lot of people that are in the same management positions that they've been in for a long time. Now, I don't know if you know this or not, but the Yankees haven't won a world title in 16 seasons. So they're fourth longest in history for the Yankees franchise to not win a World Series in that length of time. So I don't think that it's if, I think it's when. I think Aaron Boone's got to go. I don't think everybody likes him. You got to think Anthony Volpe, who everybody was very upset with during the season, especially during around the playoff time. He started really struggling. He went 1-for-11 in the playoffs. And even one last night where they threw a strike, he didn't swing, and one of the fans stood up, and the camera zoomed in onto him, and he swung the bat. He said, "We've got to swing," and he said some explicit words, "the bat." And then the next pitch, guess what he did? He swung the bat, but the ball was in the dirt. So really, when you look at this Yankee team, some stuff has to happen because they spent money. Yeah. They don't have Juan Soto anymore. They allowed him to leave. But when you look at what they did throughout the year with all of the home runs, it's like they live by the home runs, they die by the home runs. So if they don't hit home runs, in essence, they don't win. And that tells you some things about a team. You need a team in the playoffs that's going to hit the baseball, that's going to get on base, that's going to move runners, that's going to do situational stuff. They call it small ball. They're going to be able to play a good game when they're not just hitting bombs.
Yeah.
And I mean, you can't blame this one on Aaron Judge. You can't blame this one on Giancarlo Stanton because both of them, they led the team hitting. But your guys like Jazz Chisholm, your guys like Cody Bellinger, Paul Goldschmidt, those guys did not produce. Austin Wells, they did not produce. And so during the season, they produced home runs. Not Goldsmith, but those other guys.
So what does the run margin tell you that they had this huge run margin and they're compared to teams, you know, with the same wins and they've got a lot more run margin for wins? I mean, what does that tell you?
They hit multiple home runs.
And when they beat a team, they destroy them. So the potential is there.
The potential is there, but what they didn't do was the small things, which was eke out the small wins where you needed to be able to move runners, and they'd go up there instead of hitting the ball to the outfield and moving the runner to the next base, they'd strike out.
Yeah.
And so because if you're there hitting home runs, and listen, I'm a big proponent of home runs. Don't get me wrong. I loved when Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa was hitting bombs like Hiroshima. I loved it. But when you look at how the Yankees play baseball, it's just home runs or nothing. It's feast or it's famine. And the thing is they ran into a team that not only did they hit home runs, but they hit the baseball. And it wasn't something that just, whatever. And I remember.
But scoring one run in Game 4
Right.
Not enough.
Not enough.
Yeah. I mean, I saw the Blue Jays score for the first 2 games, and I can't remember if they scored 6 or lost 9-6 in the third game, I think. 9-6, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. They still scored runs.
They're still scoring and all that, but the pitching in the game 4, I mean, what happened? Fell flat. Was it the coaching? Was it the motivation? I mean, you got stars. You make money. I mean, you're a top 8 team. That's not the Yankees standard. They want to be, they always want to be number 1. Number 2 or number 4 is not good enough for them.
No, and when you look at how they played last night, even you could just tell that it was not the Yankees. They were playing not to lose. They wasn't playing to win. It seemed like, and then you had the errors.
But was it the matchup with the Blue Jays? Because we know they went 7-5. They lost the series in the regular season because they end up with the tiebreaker. The Blue Jays did. Just wondering, Well, did they catch the wrong team? And in hindsight, if the Blue Jays win it all, then we kind of walk back a little bit and say, well, the Yankees gave it their best try against the best team that was around.
That'd be the only thing that you could say, but you got to, that's got to, it's got to have longevity.
I'm trying to make you feel better.
But I mean, it's just, it's disappointing because, you had the whole thing and you know what made me, so last night I'm watching the game and I'm sitting there watching it and you know what I'm looking at, right? The torpedo bat, thinking about, man, we talked so much about the torpedo
in April.
And it's not, but the thing is that if you don't hit the ball, you're guaranteed to get out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's what was happening. And it wasn't that the Blue Jays had dynamic pitching. Mm-hmm. It was just the fact that they were doing the things right. They were stealing bases. They were putting the ball in play. And the Yankees, like Jazz Chisholm last night, had a ball hit to him. And it was a smoker. I mean, the guy hit the ball hard, but you're playing second base and the ball comes right to you and you boot it. And that was a double play. That was a big part, not only so the guy running to second, he took third because the ball went into center field. And, now you got runners on the corners and they still second base. So then you got runners in scoring positions and then boom, base hit. And that's really what happened with the Yankees.
So this brings me back to a crazy quote that George Foreman said to Muhammad Ali in the ring. He was hitting him, and Muhammad Ali told George Foreman, "That's all you got." And the Yankees scored 1 run in Game 1, and one run in Game 4 to close them out. And what the Yankees gave in Game 2 and Game 3 was all they had.
Yeah,
I think that they gave it everything they could.
Oh, you do? You think that was...
I do think that that's all the Yankees had this week. But the thing is about it's like any given Sunday, This week, that's all they had. Next week, it might have been a different situation. 2 weeks ago, probably a different situation. It seemed like the Blue Jays kind of lulled out towards the end of the season, and the focus was not on them.
The Yankees had 2 hits last night. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's a big problem.
That's the big problem.
Yeah, with all those stars, all that payroll,
all that power, all that payroll, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then you've got the manager over there, and you've got a guy that was awesome all over the years, all over this year, Ben Rice, and he's sitting on the bench. And it's just like it doesn't make any sense to me. Paul Goldschmidt, yes, he's a right-handed batter. Ben Rice is a left-handed batter. And what they'd like to do is they like to throw left-handed batters against right-handed pitching, right-handed batters against left-handed.
That's been forever.
And that's been forever. Okay, but Ben Rice has been hot. Ben Rice has hit the ball. Paul Goldschmidt has not been the Paul Goldschmidt that played for the Cardinals.
Yeah.
And so, but he played a lot. And he did that with Jazz Chisholm in the first game. And I think it's time for Aaron Boone to go. Aaron Boone, if you're already down here for vacation, I know some people go to Cancun.
He's already had his press conference.
I know you go to Cancun. But get him out of here. Stay in Panama City Beach
did you see
and enjoy it. No, what did he say?
Yeah, he said, I'm here to stay.
Well, listen, he don't make the choice.
He wants to stay. That's what he's basically saying.
Of course he wants to stay. Who wouldn't want to stay?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, that's his home. That's his home. I mean, that's where he played.
Yeah.
It feels like home.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm just
He's not
saying,
going to the Mets.
No.
Never.
I just think it's time to go for Aaron Boone. I think they need to find someone else. I think they need new blood at the coaching position for the Yankees, and that's my 2 cents. Who's playing tonight? What do we got?
Okay, so wait, let me think about this. Now, the Tigers and the Mariners are playing tomorrow, and
yep.
the series is 2-2. The Brewers are up 2-1 on the Cubs. They play tonight.
Yep.
And then the other game is the Dodgers are up 2-1 on the Phillies. Phillies won Game 3, so now they're still in the hunt. But I have a feeling the Dodgers are going to close out the Phillies.
You think so?
Yeah.
What do you think about the other one? What are you feeling on that one?
Brewers. I don't think the Cubs got it.
Yeah.
So we're going to be looking at Brewers and Dodgers, which is not bad. And then Blue Jays are going to be waiting on the winner between the Mariners. And who are you rooting for? Mariners or Tigers?
Man, for me, never been a big fan of either one. It's almost like I just don't like either one of them. For the storyline, I would say the Mariners because of the big dumper. Because even though Skubal has had such a great year, and I know that Eddie was pumped up and jacked up over.
That makes me want to go against the Tigers.
But
man, Michigan Eddie needs to slow down his talking, man. We're down south here, you need to slow it down.
I spent enough time up north that I was just following along with him.
I can understand everything he said. But the other time he called, like a few days, was it like last Friday or Monday or whatever it was?
Days,
he went on and he started talking about somebody from Clemson. And I was like, where's this guy going? He was over here and he's over here on the map. And I'm like, wow.
Yeah, he does good, though. I love it when he calls. But either way, for me, for the storyline of the big dumper, for the year that he's had, I would love to see him continue. I would love to see how far he goes. Now, just so you know, if something happens where the big dumper somehow, some way carries them to the playoffs deeper, then you might be looking at the big dumper getting the nod for the MVP instead of Aaron Judge because of the early exit by the Yankees.
So now that Toronto's the only Canadian team, they X out your team, you're going to be pulling against them next round?
I don't really, you
don't care?
I'm not.
How American are you?
Well, I picked them to go to the World Series.
Oh, so your pick. You got to stick
That
to your
was
pick.
my pick.
Okay, I respect that.
That's the only reason. I don't have any skin in the game for the Blue Jays. Never really liked them. I mean, you got to realize that they haven't won the World Series since Joe Carter and those guys.
93.
Might have been 94. I think they beat the Braves, actually.
92 and then 93 was the back-to-back after the Twins came back on the Braves.
Yeah.
That was the first World Series where the home team won every single game. When the Braves went up 3-2, I thought Twins were done. Yeah, but I do remember, Blue Jays won back-to-back, 92 and 93.
Yeah. So, I mean, either way, when you look at them, I don't want them to win, but I did pick them.
Yep.
But when we come back, I got a special guest lined up for Jeffrey. He knows nothing about it. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Reach out and smack someone. Call or text now. 850-215-6290. The Red 17 Studio Line. ESPN Northwest Florida. Here's what's happening.
Coming up on October 31st, it's the Cal G Squires inaugural golf tournament benefiting the Angel House Bereavement Center, the only provider of clinical grief counseling in Bay County. Costumes are encouraged for this fun day at Bay Point. Prizes for a hole-in-one, longest drive, closest to the pin, and best costume. To register you or your team, go to angelhousebci.org.
This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida this Thursday. For tonight, partly cloudy skies and a low of 66 with a moderate breeze around 16 miles per hour coming out of the northeast. Tomorrow morning, mostly sunshine with temps around 73. In the afternoon and evening, mostly sunny with a strong breeze and a temperature near 78. Moving into Saturday, about the same with a high of 81 and sunny. This forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida, Mid-South Lumber, Best Little Lumber Yard in Panama City. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida.
PCB Hobby, the beach's premier hobby store for sports cards, comics, coins, and trading card games. PCB Hobby carries the largest selection of boxes and packs from the latest releases of brands like Topps, Panini, Leaf, and more. Looking for a specific player or team? PCB Hobby has a wide assortment of raw and graded cards. They carry parallel rookie, game used, and autographed cards in both modern and vintage. Have a collection you want to sell? We buy, sell, and trade. PCB Hobby on Back Beach Road, just east of Florida Linen. Call 850-320-8388.
Got a scratch, dent, or full-blown wreck? Bring it to Recommended Collision Center in Panama City. From small scratches to all-over paint jobs, from fender benders to major collisions, it's Recommended Collision Center. They work with all insurance companies and offer customer pay options too. A family-owned collision center that takes pride in top-quality repairs, friendly service, quick drop-offs, and a fast turnaround. So when life throws you a wreck, they'll help you get amended. Recommended Collision Center, 1329 Jinx Avenue, Panama City.
WVLQ Point St. Joe, WGSX, powered by Panama City Toyota.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
The teams of the swamp.
Falls loose at the 38. Gators got it. Wow.
Join Sean Kelly and the rest of the broadcast team as they bring you Gator football all season long.
Quick race down the near sideline. 20, 15, 10 to the 5. Touchdown, Gators.
On your home for Florida football, the Gator Sports Network from Learfield.
The Florida Gators play here. Listen to select games on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Broadcasting from the CBC Construction Studios. This is where heroes are created, legends are born, and dynasties forged. The Sports Talk Master, ESPN Northwest Florida. Now back to the Sports Blitz.
Yes, it is 5 o'clock on this Thursday. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. You finally made it. You got one more day. Some of you, this was your last day for the fall break. So you are done for the break. So you get a 4-day weekend, baby. That is awesome. So anyway, we're pumped up. We're ready to go. Also, you can check us out on Facebook. You can check us out on YouTube. Or you can just listen to the old-fashioned radio. So we're glad to have everybody. As always, got Jeffrey here in studio with me, as well as Bone Crusher crushing the ones and the twos. We're having a blast today. We've got a little bit of a surprise for Jeffrey because, you know, Jeffrey, he's been a little bent this week about a few things. The things that he's been talking about, we just can't let it slide. And so really, on Tuesday, we normally talk heavy on Florida State, but we wasn't able to because Taylor Devers had a sickness. And so with that being said, we welcome on a Thursday, Mr. Taylor Devers from Chop Chat, Norvell Central. Taylor, how you feeling, my friend?
Well, I'm not feeling as bad as I was Tuesday. Cue up the Michael Jordan flu game because we're coming back. We're back in action.
That's right. Well, I don't know if you got to listen or not, but if you go back on Tuesday, if you go back on Wednesday, and I think on Monday, Jeffrey is just giving it to the Florida State fans. And, you know, I mean, he's been pretty rough on some of them.
Towards the end of the Tuesday broadcast, he asked me something, and I just went off. Because I was just tired of hearing all the Seminoles keep on talking while you're on a 2-game losing streak.
How do you feel about that, Taylor?
Well, I'll tell you this. Can I take the South Carolina money line this week? Can I do that? Can I take them to win outright this weekend?
Well, you know, we have to get the Seminole tribe involved in the state of Florida to bet. It's a sad situation, but I would actually take that bet. You know, and South Carolina's looking for that revenge for last year because I don't know if you know how the fourth quarter went. It was kind of iffy with a call and everything, and they didn't like that referee call. But they're going to Death Valley, so situation's going to be a little different. I think LSU's going to take them to task. I think we're going to win by 20.
Whew.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge believer in Lenora Stellars, honestly, as you know, with preseason expectations, but I definitely think they have a chance in that game. It's a little worrisome, I think. It's a weird spot for them.
I think out of the 4 big SEC games we got this weekend, and LSU South Carolina is the 4th biggest SEC game, because Texas-Oklahoma is the big rivalry. Oklahoma is still undefeated. Can't knock that off. Alabama's playing Missouri. Missouri is undefeated. And, of course, Auburn, Georgia is still a big game. So this game's the 4th fiddle and all that. And I don't think that it's going to be closer than any of those. And I think Georgia's going to beat Auburn pretty big. And Auburn always talks about how they play within 4 points of Georgia. I don't think it's happening this year. I think Georgia's going to be double-digit winner over Auburn.
I definitely could see that. I kind of want to move to another game that I was kind of referring to in the preseason with this team made of glass, Texas A&M playing Florida.
Oh, yeah, that's the other game. That's right.
There's three things in life that are absolute. Death, taxes, and Florida playing their absolute tails off when Billy Napier is about to get fired.
That is true.
Those are the 3 things.
So
and
true.
I definitely think that this is an opportunity for Florida to take advantage in this game. I actually have them winning outright. So we'll see.
Wow. Well, this is the thing. When you look at all of those games, that was what I was going to ask you with the question is do you believe, who do you have in all 4 of those games?
Right now, I just think Georgia is a big factor in all this. I actually agree with Jeff on that. I know there wasn't a lot of things we agreed on this week, Jeff, don't worry. But I think Georgia is going to take the cake with this one easily, without a doubt.
Yep.
So we'll see. I think Auburn is kind of at their tail end. They have a couple of winnable games there, but if you go 5-7, 6-6 at the end of the year, don't they freeze sticks around?
Yeah, that's going to be one of those jobs that a lot of people were talking about in the beginning, but they look good early on, but now they've hit, a little bit of rock bottom. And if Jeff's right, if you're right, if they get throttled, because this one's at home. This one's at home. Hare. So this is at Jordan Hare. This is in front of everybody. I said Jordan, but it's Jordan. But either way.
It's Jordan?
Yes,
but
Jordan.
Spelled Jordan.
It's Jordan Hare.
They didn't know how to pronounce stuff in Alabama. I'm just joking.
Speaking from a Cajun.
Yeah. You'll go on down here. We'll give you some gator.
We have no idea what he just said. But either way, when you look at it, Taylor, you got Alabama playing Missouri. Now, we haven't talked about that. Me and Jeff talked about it. I'm worried about it. I see Missouri being a tougher team. It's an 11 o'clock kickoff. It's at Missouri. It's on that turf. You got a big game coming next week, and that's really what I think Alabama is going to struggle with. Do I think they win? Yes, but do I think it's going to be close? Yes, because, even Vegas has got them at a 2.5 spread.
Yeah, I'm a little worried about Missouri's pass rushers. I think they're very, very good with Damon Wilson as well as Javion Hilson. I think those are 2 guys that are absolutely dominant right now. Problem is their secondary is terrible.
Yeah.
So realistically, you're probably going to have a couple of chunk plays. You might even see Alabama down at the half, maybe like a 21-17 or like 17-14 type of half, and then Alabama's going to kind of get back into order. I think they win by about 6. So.
Yeah, that could be close. And then the other game with Texas and Oklahoma, Jeff tends to think that Texas is going to win that game. And, and I believe he's attesting to the fact that Mateer's not going to be there. And I think it's going to be an Oklahoma win. And the reason behind it is I think Brett Venables is going to be able to shut down that anemic offense. Because right now, when you look at it, Mosley here in the Panhandle can run the football better than Texas can. And, they're a high school team. But Texas's run game is atrocious. And if you're one-dimensional in a college football game against a defensive coordinator or a defensive-minded head coach like Brent Venables, there's no possible way that they're going to be able to score chunk plays. And I think Oklahoma's going to be able to run the football against that Texas defense. What do you think about that one, Taylor?
Yeah, I actually agree with you. I actually think Oklahoma's going to win that game. The spread's kind of sneakily been up and down a little bit all week, and I think it's kind of settled down to that probably 2.5, 3.5 range. So it's looking really promising. Everybody talks about Mateer. I don't even think he plays. I don't even really think it matters, personally. I think Arch is just very under control at certain times, and there's times where he's very erratic. I just don't really like the situation for him and that offense going forward there, even though Sarkisian is a very nice offensive coordinator for them.
Yeah, and, you know, when you look at the Florida State team as a whole right now, because obviously there's a lot of things that's been talked about in the media, on social media, and everybody's talking about what Tommy Castellano said. Everybody's talking about Mike Norvell, what he said. You know, let's tackle what Tommy said first. He said, nobody has beat us. We have beat ourselves. Now, are you in the ballpark of agreeing with him, or do you disagree with that sentiment?
I think that's true. I mean, Florida State come to that game wanting to eliminate Miami's rushing offense. They did so. I mean, they had 32 carries for like 96 yards. They were able to do so, but when you have those tunnel screens, those chunk play action plays, and you're not able to stop Carson Beck when he has Malachi Toney and also C.J. Daniels as well, you didn't really beat yourself. You were outplayed, and we talk about it all the time on the radio show as well, is Florida State's recruiting effort in the high school ranks has not been great. You're kind of leaning more on the transfer portal, and you're seeing two type tiers of talent. Miami's just a more talented team. Let's just face it. I mean, that's how the reality and the state of the programs are right now at this moment. Not to say Florida State can't get to that point, but yes, Tommy Castellano's had a couple of interceptions. They had a fumble. They had a couple of turnovers that you don't need to have in that moment. But when you're down, 22 points, 25 points going into the fourth quarter, not a great situation there. I don't really think you beat yourself. I just think you got outplayed, personally.
So somebody said that that the Seminoles are going to go back and play in the ACC championship. Now, Virginia's got to take 2 losses. Georgia Tech's got to take 2 losses. We know Louisville plays Miami tomorrow night, so we're just not even going to talk about Louisville. I guess NC State's got somewhere in there, but they're gonna drop a game. We know that's going to happen, right?
Yeah.
How does the tiebreaker work in a situation when teams are tied and they did not play in the regular season to make it to the ACC championship?
If I remember correctly, I think it's points 4. If I remember correctly.
Points 4 within conference.
I think they go to combined scheduled after points 4. If it's like tied at points 4, I think it's points 4 first, and then it's toughest of conference of schedule right there.
Okay. Well, that's going to help out Florida State with the top schedule, but chances are 2 teams having the same points 4 is pretty highly unlikely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Virginia's scoring a little bit right now. I think that they're scoring more than Georgia Tech.
Yeah, they're a very balanced offense, and obviously, we shouldn't have lost that game. But that offense is very talented. That quarterback is a veteran option that's been there in college now for 6 years. He's got experience, so he's not new to this at all.
Yeah. Well, when you look at it as far as the outcome of the ACC championship, and we've talked about it, and, I do sound like a broken record when I talk about this, but Georgia Tech having the easiest route, the one thing that you've got to think about is that they have the Georgia game at the end of the season, and then obviously they would play in the ACC championship. So as it sits right now, you're playing Georgia, and then you go and you play the champion, which would be Miami. And I'm under the realization that if both of those games, which Georgia Tech plays Georgia last year, very tough, but if Georgia Tech gets blown out by both of those teams, the third team sitting for the ACC is realistically, especially if they win their last game, they're the team that looks more attractive than a second-place Georgia Tech team that possibly gets blown out by Miami. It could mean that if they just lose normally 7 points, 10 points, 14 points to Georgia, but then gets throttled by Miami, now you're talking about the third team sitting back waiting on the committee to say, you know what, Florida State, who did they play at the last game? Louisville, who did they play at the last game? Virginia, who did they play at the last game? And if they win and they win convincingly, then I'm under the assumption that the committee is going to say, you know what, Georgia Tech, you had your opportunity. You had 2 games to play. You got beat both of them, and not, you got beat convincingly. So now we're going to go to that 3rd game. What do you think about that, as far as the way that goes?
That's going to be a disastrous situation because you really look at it and you're going to see a Georgia Tech team that gets blown out in the ACC championship because they're going to look back and they're going to say, wow, why did we even play in this game? Why did we just forfeit this game? Why does it even matter? And then you start looking at other things and going into that whole rabbit hole. And I think that's basically why the committee got, who they got in last year for the ACC at that point. Because you look at it, I mean, if you turn out and Clemson didn't win that game, you're fine with not allowing Clemson into the playoffs at that point.
Right.
And, they have 4 losses. But you have an SMU team that played pretty well throughout the year. You struggled a little bit. You lost the lead there at the end against Clemson, and the next thing you know, where are you at with everything? Like, is SMU? Did you even need to play that game? And that's what the argument's going to be. I think they're going to keep that integrity going so far with this year. Even if Georgia Tech does get quote unquote blown out, maybe that was their only 2 losses. And Florida State sitting there with 2 losses, I think concerns me the most because, let's just face it, I mean, we got to get through Pitt first and get through a couple other games. But just overall, though, I think that if Florida State's sitting there with 2 losses and they've won out the rest of the games, that win against Alabama looks great and all. But at the same time, you didn't take care of advantages with the Virginia game. I don't think that Virginia is going to be a top 25 team at the end of the year. I mean, who knows? But ironically enough, they're probably going to be an 8-4 football team. I mean, it's not going to be anything special. So really, that worries Florida State fans even more.
Yeah, and that's what I wonder, because when you look at the way it's set up, and I told them this yesterday, and I don't remember if it was Jeffrey or if it was one of the other guys, they were laughing at me about it. But when I said I would not play my starters against Georgia, because if you go and get slobber knocked by Georgia and then go take a beating against Miami, you all but have played a perfect season all the way up until your last 2 ball games, and then you lose out of going to the playoffs, because there's no way the committee's going to say you're the 12th best team in the country losing to Georgia and losing to Miami if it's a blowout or somewhat of a blowout. And so realistically, you set out your players against Georgia. I know that that's not a happy thing. I know that we have pride in our school and we want to see how we're going to do against, but now we're getting to the place to where there's so many teams involved into the playoff that you have to take your team and do what's best for your team. And that's really, kind of taking that part about what you said about the ACC championship. I'm taking it a step further. I'm talking about the out-of-conference games that mean jack squat, that could only hurt you, and really it could help you just by giving you a better rank. It won't do anything for you to beat Georgia if you lose to Miami. Now, obviously, if you go undefeated all the way through and you want to beat everybody that's on your schedule, I get all that. But there is strategic times now with this 12-game playoff.
Yeah, could you imagine Ryan Day benching all of his players against Michigan, and that fan base is already crazy enough about them losing to Michigan last year and then winning a national championship?
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but I mean, it's something we have to talk about. It could be out of the scope of the idea, but it's realistic, a opportunity to get you out of the playoff, because they're in the same boat. If they get throttled by Michigan and then get throttled by Oregon, then what are they going to say? Are they going to say they're the top 12 teams in the country? Probably, because they're Ohio State. But still, when you look at it, we have got to get – they're probably going to get rid of some of these games, which is kind of what the SEC was doing with a different schedule.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to tell you one thing. Under normal circumstances, I would agree with you about Virginia not being a top 25 team at the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
But they just beat Florida State in overtime. They just beat Louisville in overtime. Okay, let me tell you what the rest of the schedule is. They got Washington State after a bye. Washington State's going to be coming off of a loss to Ole Miss. So I'm going to say they're going to win that game.
Yeah, for sure.
Got to play at North Carolina Tar Heels, not concerned.
Terrible.
At Cal Berkeley, not concerned. Wake Forest, who could pull an upset this year. We just don't know if that's going to be one of them. And then they're at Duke. That's the biggest chance that they have of losing a game this year is at Duke. And then they follow it up with Virginia Tech at home in Charlottesville. So let's say they go and they lose to Duke. 10-2 year, they're going to be ranked.
Yeah. Well, and you know what? I'm glad we're talking about Virginia because we're going to go to the Red 70s phone line. Kevin, Panama City. How you doing, Kevin? Hello. Did we lose him?
I probably just said what he wanted to say.
All right, we lost him. So anyway, is that that's a possibility?
Oh yeah, 10-2. You're going to be ranked. I mean, you beat Louisville and you beat Florida State.
Yeah.
Think about it.
And then you're
not playing Georgia Tech and you're not playing Miami.
And you're not going to the conference final.
In a normal year, okay, now I'm not saying 10-2 is going to get them in the playoffs. It's not.
Yeah.
They're going to be somewhere ranked between, we'll say, 15 and 22 with a 10-2 year. But let's say they go 11-1. Guess who's going to the playoffs? The Virginia Cavaliers are going to the playoffs with 11-1.
Barring a blow. Well, you're talking about 11-1 all the way through.
Yeah,
even
because they already have their one loss. They win at Duke. Boom, they're in the playoffs. And I'm not going crazy that the Cavaliers are all that great. It's just that who they have in front of them. Who's going to beat them? You know, when you're Mike Tyson and you go fight somebody, you know, and they're nobodies, you're going to beat them. And that's what the Cavaliers have in front of them.
And when you look at beating Florida State, the best thing that could happen for Virginia's resume is if Florida State continue, if they can go and win.
Yep.
Strength of schedule.
Mm-hmm.
And so as they go on, if they win, so they're like cheering Florida State from the rooftops.
Yeah.
So not only does Georgia Tech have an easy way to get there, Virginia's got an easy way to get there, but Virginia's asking for Georgia Tech to take a loss.
So here's the craziest part. You know who everybody's rooting against?
Miami.
Georgia Tech. No, really.
No, I'm with you.
Because guess what? Virginia's not playing Georgia Tech. Florida State's not playing Virginia Tech. I don't even know if Louisville's even playing. They're probably not even playing Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech's not playing anybody. Everybody's rooting against Georgia Tech. And under a normal year, I would say the only way that the ACC is getting 3 teams into the playoffs is if Notre Dame drops a game to an ACC team, or the group of 5 doesn't have a team that's ranked, so they don't get that automatic bid. But in this year, the way the schedule's going and teams don't play each other, there's a possibility that we could have 3 ACC teams in there and 1 Big 12, possibly.
Are we having 5 teams with 10-2 records? Is that how we're going with this?
Yes.
Is that what we're getting into?
Because guess what happened last year?
Yeah.
Guess who was 10-2 last year? Ohio State, and they won it all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And there's going to be, because
Texas.
This is not going to be the year that people go undefeated in the SEC either. I mean, I think everybody's already kind of conceded that Miami is going to go undefeated into the ACC schedule. I mean, everybody that's talking is saying Miami. They're either the 1 or the 2 best team in the country, and they definitely are going to push all the way through. Now, there could be some chaos with an upset, or they drop one, or Beck has a bad game, or something like that. But when you look at it, the SEC, with it being so strong, you've got to say there's going to be several teams that are 10-2, because everybody's not going to go undefeated because they have to play each other.
I mean, look at who's undefeated in the SEC right now. I mean, I'm not even going to talk about Missouri because I'm not really concerned about that. Texas A&M, Ole Miss,
Oklahoma,
and that's it. Because Tennessee and Georgia and Alabama all have 1 loss already.
Yeah, and they still all.
So the best chance of somebody else being undefeated other than Miami, it's Oregon playing Ohio State in the Big Ten Championship.
That knocks it out.
And that knocks one of them out. So would you saying 4 or 5 10-2 teams? I might backtrack a little bit on that. Because it might be 6 teams, but they're not all 10-2. It might be 11-2 because they played in a conference championship.
Yeah, I mean, it's a realistic possibility. I'm not saying the ACC is some kind of dominant power. They're a solid conference. I mean, they have solid teams in the conference, as you're seeing right now. I mean, Florida State could lose to Pitt this weekend, and it could spiral out of control. Mm-hmm. I mean, that is how big this game is this weekend, because Florida State's either looking at a 3-3 record right there, or you could probably go 6-2 in the Clemson. I mean, that's how it is.
I'm telling you right now, I would bet the farm, and I don't have a farm, on Florida State beating Pitt. There is no possible way at home against Pitt. I don't care how bad they played against this one. I don't care how bad they played against that one. They will not lose to Pitt at home. If this was at Pitt, I would give you a 50% chance. But if you're telling me that Pitt's going to walk in with a freshman quarterback and beat Florida State, I will have to say you need to go take another pill and lay down, because you're definitely not thinking straight, because this is no possible way that Florida State loses against this Pittsburgh team.
Yeah, I've seen Hank Ballmaker from Boise State as a true freshman coming to Florida State and beat us. I've seen Jeff Sims, quarterback at Georgia Tech in 2020, beat us as a true freshman. Anything's possible. That pass defense is not the greatest in the world. Greg McElroy actually talked about Florida State's biggest question mark being their defensive backs. I thought he was crazy. I didn't think anything about it. I thought their DBs were pretty good, and they look lost in the last 2 games. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, we will. And, we're going to have to take a break, but let me just say this. If they do lose to Pitt, there's going to be a hot seat coming to Florida State near you.
Yeah.
You've been listening to Taylor Devers. We appreciate it, Taylor. And when we come back, we are going to dive into our pick'ems for this NFL game that's happening tonight. You're listening to the Sports Blitz at 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Taking your hot takes, rants, and takedowns. Let's hear it on the Red 7T studio line. 850-215-6290. ESPN Northwest Florida. The Paul Feinbaum Show.
Only allowed 20 points and lost the game.
Hey, Swamp Dog, I apologize for interrupting. We have a guest weighing in. We'll come back to you in a minute if that's okay. Hey, Rich.
I'm happy to be here as well, although it is very awkward. I was known in high school as Swamp Dog. I don't mean to steal any thunder, but here I am.
Paul Feinbaum, weeknights, 6 to 10 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida this Thursday. For tonight, partly cloudy skies and a low of 66 with a moderate breeze around 16 miles per hour coming out of the northeast. Tomorrow morning, mostly sunshine with temps around 73. In the afternoon and evening, mostly sunny with a strong breeze and a temperature near 78. Moving into Saturday, about the same with a high of 81 and sunny. This forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida, Mid-South Lumber, Best Little Lumber Yard in Panama City. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida.
So you've heard the saying that if you love your job, you'll never have to work? Well, it's true.
I've worked for Brock Lawn and Pest Control for many years. The commitment to the needs of customers
and their commitment to each employee makes Brock a company I'm very proud to be a part of.
Brock's core values are also mine. Give people more than they expect and always honor your promises.
This isn't a job. It's a service to help people live a healthier lifestyle.
Brock Lawn and Pest Control. Our family protecting your family.
Full residential and commercial projects from start to finish, Wheelhouse is ready to help. From the moment you have the thought to build to the moment you step through the front door of your finished project, Wheelhouse Consulting and Engineering will walk you through all of your aspirations. Engineering, site plans, live architectural design, construction, 3D rendering, permits, and more. Wheelhouse Consulting and Engineering, 850-896-6597. That's 850-896-6597. And online at wheelhousedba.com.
Scott Graham here from Thursday Night Football on Westwood One. Jason Benetti and Devin McCourty have the call as Week 6 of the season kicks off with NFC East action between the Eagles and the Giants. Philadelphia, the defending Super Bowl champions, are coming off their first loss of the season last week. Can they get their repeat hopes back on track? Find out on Thursday Night Football.
Eagles versus Giants. Coverage starts at 6:30 on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Transmitting from the CBC Construction Studio. Climb into our DM and jump into the chat. The Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson is live on Facebook. Interact with Paul and other sports fanatics. Now, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Don't forget, you can call in. You can text in on the Red 7T's phone line, 850-215-6290. We've been talking a lot about college football, and, we did lose a caller earlier. and we did get him back, and he wanted to let us know, Jeffrey, that the Virginia Cavaliers are doing better offensively than Florida State and Miami.
Yeah.
So, I mean, when you look at that team with that schedule, they've won the games they needed to win. They just have the blemish. And you wonder if there's going to be a blemish with the other teams, because you know how it is. You can look good, you can have a great schedule that favors your winning, and then all of a sudden you find yourself in a dogfight away or even at home because you overlooked them, because you looked up, and then the next thing you know, you take the L, and then you're like, oh no, what's that going to do? Virginia has a chance. I didn't think they did.
Yeah.
They got a chance.
I mean, I would have totally agree with Taylor Devers about Virginia not being ranked at the end of the year. But then you're looking at the schedule and like, they drop a game at Duke. Who else are they losing to? 10-2 is going to get you ranked.
Yeah.
Virginia's going to be ranked if they're 10-2.
Yeah, they're going to be ranked.
No question about it.
Yeah, and it really depends on what happens ahead of them or in front of them and how good the teams that they beat are doing for them to see whether or not they're going to get up high enough to even be mentioned in the first or second or the third team out.
I have been wrong, but
before, not very often.
Not again. No, I'm not doing it again. But I mean, they could drop a game at home against Wake Forest. I mean, that's feasible.
I don't know.
And then Virginia Tech, that coach got to be coaching his butt off to get Virginia Tech to win at Charlottesville.
Yeah, I don't see that happening either.
I mean, but I've seen stranger things like Vanderbilt beat Bama last year.
You got to keep bringing that up.
Let's keep on bringing it up.
No, let's don't. We beat them this year.
Let's forget about it.
Let's forget about it. So either way, don't forget.
So let me ask you a question. So, I mean, before the season, we were kind of thinking that Miami could win the whole ACC.
Oh, yeah.
And they've never won the ACC, not once.
Not one time.
And how long they've been in this conference? 20-something years.
Yeah. I mean, I just remember them being in the Big East before, and that was, you know, they were dominant there.
So when they won in 01 and lost in 02, they were not in the ACC.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's how long it's been.
Yeah, but, I mean, it didn't take rocket scientists to know this. I mean, with a veteran quarterback who's played in a lot of big ball games, and then hearing inside connections that we have about how good Carson Beck is, and then the young guys catching the ball on the you know, over the top. That's just been really, I mean, we've been right, and that's good.
Well, I've been wrong. And you know how I was wrong? I picked Miami for being third in the ACC before the season started. I had Clemson and Louisville in the ACC championship.
You did.
Clemson's
That's
gone.
Right. Clemson's gone, and Louisville's gone.
And Louisville's back-to-back losses. So
Louisville's got Miami next Friday night.
Yes.
And we're going to have that game here, October the 17th, Friday night game, Miami versus Louisville. It's at Miami, and I'm just going to tell you.
And it's on this radio station.
Yeah, this for us, yes. And I'm telling you, that'll knock Louisville right out. That'll be they'll put them to bed.
There won't be any kind of playoff talk. The Kentucky Wildcats could probably beat them.
No,
they did last year.
Yeah, they might. I don't know, but that's going to put Louisville in the Poinsettia Bowl for sure.
Poinsettia Bowl.
Yeah, for sure.
Where's that played at?
I don't know.
There is one though.
Yeah, it's somewhere, but it's not going to be a playoff game.
You know, I was even thinking that they might have a Palmetto Bowl, but they don't. It's the Duke Mayo Bowl over there in Charlotte.
Charlotte, yeah, that'll probably be where they go.
That's a fun one.
Yeah. Yeah, because they pour the
mayo on them.
Yeah. No, thanks. We might do that to you or something. We can have that happen.
You know, I do love me some mayo.
Oh, God. Oh, man. So, anyway, we are also wanting to tell you, if you're listening right now, we're giving away Jacksonville Jaguar tickets. Now, in times past, we have said text to the Red 7 phone lines, 850-215-6290, Jacksonville. Well, we're going to make it a little bit easier because Jacksonville sometimes can be a little hard to spell. But we're going to put Sunshine. If you text Sunshine on 850-215-6290, it's going to get you in an opportunity to go watch the Jacksonville Jaguars this Sunday. Do we know who they're playing?
Seattle Seahawks.
The Seattle Seahawks. Sam Darnold-led Seattle Seahawks. And they come off a win this past weekend. And so either way, you can see the Jaguars and Sunshine. So text Sunshine to 850-215-6290 for your chance to win Jacksonville Jaguar tickets right here on the air. So hopefully we'll be able to do that, call you, get you on there, and that'll be an awesome time.
A 4-1 Jacksonville Jaguars team.
Yes.
Who would have thought that the Chiefs would be 2-3
and Jacksonville will be 4-1? Who would have thought?
At this
not
point.
You.
Not me. Oh,
and not
no.
me.
No. Before the season started, I said, you know what? They could win 2 or 3 of these games in the first 4 weeks, and then they're going to hit a roadblock and they're going to lose to the Chiefs. And that's what I said before the season started.
Yeah.
I was looking forward to that fifth week game and saying that the Chiefs are just going to handle up business, and they didn't.
Yeah, and Brian Austin, who comes in from the Lone Star Boyle House, he actually was at the game.
Yep.
They got the tickets for that game, and he said it was electric. He said it was unbelievable. And if you remember, on Tuesday, we had the Dunn and Drew podcast guys from Duval down in Jacksonville, and it was awesome. So I already see people sending Sunshine to the line. It's already hitting. So put your name in there. Go see Sunshine and the boys. Travis Hunter made a big catch in that game. The Jacksonville Jaguars, I mean, let's just be honest right now. If you had to say, are they legitimate for an actual playoff this year, would you say yes, or would you say, I don't know yet?
I'll not only say yes, but they could steal the division from the Colts.
It's going to be curious.
Yeah.
It's going to be curious.
The Texans aren't doing good.
No, they're
and
out.
The Titans
that's who you thought were going to win, Texans. Remember, you were high on them.
I believe I did.
Yeah, you were high on the Texans.
Yeah, I did have them win in this division.
Yeah.
And I did not think that the Jaguars would win, have a winning year. And here we are at 4-1.
Yeah.
To correct you, the Seahawks did not win this last week. They came back on the Bucks, and the Bucks squeezed it out by 3 points. So their 3-game win streak for the Seahawks is done. But 3-2 is not bad considering who they played.
And that's really where you gotta give it to Liam Cohen, because they are really, they're playing some good football. And I didn't think, honestly, I thought Sunshine was going to be done. But either way, yeah, so they play at 12 o'clock, October the 12th, against the Seattle Seahawks. So October the 12th, that's this Sunday at noon. So that's going to be awesome. They got
it's a 5-hour drive from here.
Yeah, they've got the pool, everything ready to go. People are in the pool at the stadium.
So what's on Duval Street? They have a bunch of bars and all?
I don't know.
I've never been. I've always, on my bucket list, I want to go to the Georgia-Florida Gators game there in Jacksonville.
I do.
But, they're stopping that.
Yeah. They're quitting. I do know that for the Jacksonville Jaguar people, whoever you are that wins the game or wins the tickets, we are going to get you hooked up with the Dunn and Drew podcast down there. And what they're going to do is they're going to show you around and get you into the right spots so that you can not only have a great time at the game, but you can get involved in all of the atmosphere that they do, because they do all kinds of stuff. They have giveaways, they have fan zones, they have all that stuff. So it'd be pretty cool for you to go. So yes, definitely text Sunshine to 850-215-6290. Now tonight, we've got the game of the night, 6:30 right here on the radio. Eagles versus the Giants. The Eagles coming off the loss last weekend, and they're ticked off. And if you look at it, the Eagles had a player-only meeting on Monday because of their loss. And so it's baffling to me. I don't understand it. One loss, you're the reigning Super Bowl champions. You beat everybody. What is it possible that one little loss is going to do? Because, you're not the 72 Dolphins. You're not going undefeated. So who cares about that? Every time you've made a long run in the playoffs, you had losses. But, do you think that they think that they're in trouble?
I think that they're just super serious and they want to slip it all, Yeah. And the Giants are not I know they're playing in New York, by the way. They're playing at New York Giants.
Yeah.
I don't think that this is a trap game. I'm picking the Eagles, I'm telling you right now. But I don't know. Maybe they just feel like if they slip and they slide 2 games that they're in trouble. But the thing is that the Broncos game was an out-of-conference game.
It doesn't matter.
I'm not worried. Well, it's not that it doesn't matter, but when it comes down to the end of the season and you're one game worse than the Lions like they were last year, you don't have home field throughout. And then you got to play in the first round versus the 7 seed. 2 playing 7. 1 goes and sits and watches it all from home. And you get the rest of all your players. I think that's what the Eagles really want. They want that bye. They didn't get it last year.
But they had the game won. They had a bad call.
Yeah.
And, it is what it is.
And it was within grasp.
But do you think it's because of A.J. Brown? Do you think that's what the whole meeting was about, realistically?
No.
Do you know how people talk to other people, but they're really talking to someone else?
Oh, yeah.
You know how that works? Like, I'm talking to you, but this is meant for Bone Crusher.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I'm talking to everybody, but I'm really talking to one person. And I just wonder if that's what this players only meeting is the fact that, hey, this is a team. We're not worried about individual statistics. We want to win Super Bowl. So if you get 5 catches with 100 yards and 3 touchdowns and we win, that's great. But if you get 1 catch for 10 yards with no touchdowns and we win, that's great as well. So really, that's what I think they're doing, because really when you look at this Philadelphia team, they're not trying to be a team that's going to be a bunch of superstars, because obviously look at what the running back's doing this year. He's not really doing, Saquon is not doing what he did last year. He's not averaging a bunch of yards. He's not rushing for over 100 yards every game like he was last year. And it seems like that's not a big deal to him. Now, for them to move the ball in the playoffs, though, they are going to have to get him going. But you do realize that Saquon has had the injury bug in his last seasons. Not last year. He stayed healthy. But I wonder why he's not getting the touches and why they're not really. But also, that offensive line is hurt this year.
Yeah.
They wasn't hurt last year, but they're hurt this year. So I just wonder with that, moving forward, if that's going to be a problem, because Landon Dickerson, he's out, and then you do have this whole thing with Jalen and AJ. It happened last year about middle-way through. He wasn't getting the touches. He wasn't getting the looks. He wasn't getting the targets.
Yeah.
And AJ started whining a little bit. And then all of a sudden, Jalen started throwing the ball a little bit. They lost a couple of games, but then they started doing what they always do, which is run the football. And they started back winning, and then they went on to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Because when you win your first Super Bowl, you've accomplished that in life. Now I want to accomplish what I want to accomplish for my personal career. So I think that's where A.J. Brown is. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But I think I'm right.
Okay.
But they're playing the Giants. Jackson Dart, who just lost to your New Orleans Saints.
They only scored 14.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I knew the Saints' defense is good, but the offense scoring 26?
Yeah.
You should be embarrassed.
I don't know what the spread is for this game. I don't care if it's at Jackson Dart's backyard.
Yeah.
The Eagles are going to win, and they're going to win convincingly.
Yeah, I got them.
Yeah, I don't think there's nothing at all that's going to point towards the Giants probably even doing anything. I think the Eagles are going to hold them up and either way. But we're going to take our next break, and when we come back, we're going to finish out halfway of our pick'ems. You're listening to the Sports Blitz at 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Call in now.
This is Touchstone Service.
The Red 70s studio line is open.
Demonstrate how to make a call with your dial telephone.
850-215-6290. It's here. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida app version 2.0. Now featuring ultra high fidelity. You'll feel like you're in the game. Plus more opportunities to win weekly prizes from local businesses when you click it to win it. Download the 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida app today at Google Play or the Apple Store.
Looking for dependable civil construction in the Florida Panhandle? CBC Construction has you covered. From land clearing and drainage to roads and underground utilities, CBC delivers high-quality work on time and on budget. Locally owned and operated, CBC is trusted by schools, developers, and municipalities. To learn more, call CBC Construction 850-740-3815 or visit cbcconstruction.com. That's cbcconstruction.com.
Every love story deserves a perfect beginning. At Tracy's Fine Jewelry, we believe that your engagement ring should be as unique as your love. Explore our vast selection of certified natural and lab-created diamonds, each hand-picked for brilliance and beauty. Whether you desire the timeless allure of one of our hand-selected engagement rings, or you'd like to custom design the perfect ring, visit us today and let our experts guide you in finding the ring of her dreams, because love deserves the best. Tracy's Fine Jewelry, where love sparkles.
Scott Graham here from Thursday Night Football on Westwood One. Jason Benetti and Devin McCourty have the call as Week 6 of the season kicks off with NFC East action between the Eagles and the Giants. Philadelphia, the defending Super Bowl champions, are coming off their first loss of the season last week. Can they get their repeat hopes back on track? Find out on Thursday Night Football.
Eagles versus Giants. Coverage starts at 6:30 on 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
If you build it, they will come. We're live from the CBC Construction Studios. Marquee matchups, huge rivalries, and fan favorites. The college football headquarters on the Gulf Coast is 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Now back to the Sports Blitz.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, your home of the unduplicated sports talk radio station. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Don't forget, you can call in. You can text in on the Red 7T's phone line, 850-215-6290. We're pumped up. We're excited. We're going to talk NFL football. We still haven't gotten Jeff any kind of glasses. He can't see. He's got to look over the top of his paper. And some people are wondering, why is it that Jeffrey can't buy $2 readers at the dollar store? But tomorrow, they're going to be bought for you.
No, don't worry about it.
You got to get them.
I feel my way around.
We got to get you some Buddy Hollies. Anyway, let's look at it. Who you got first? Let's go. Roll with it.
We already went with Philadelphia over the Giants.
Yep.
Denver is at the Jets.
Yeah, that's going to be curious to see. The Broncos are going to win for sure. Let's go.
The Broncos just came off of a win versus the Eagles, and they're only a 4.5-point favorite over 0-5 Jets.
Yeah. Is it at the Jets?
At the Jets.
I don't care.
They're going to cover the spread. If you have a gambling problem, 1-888, admit it.
Admit it. Let's go.
Arizona at Indianapolis is the second biggest spread of the weekend. Indianapolis is favored by 7.5 in Indianapolis. The Cardinals going to win at Indianapolis?
No.
I thought so.
They're never going to win. You know why? Do you know why?
Because Kyler Murray's hurt.
No, it has nothing to do with Kyler Murray.
I was guessing.
It has nothing to do with Kyler Murray. It has nothing to do with James Conner's going to be out. It has nothing to do with
Daniel Jones.
It has nothing to do with Marvin Harrison being an Ohio State wide receiver. It has all to do with none other than Indiana Jones. Daniel Jones is going to show out this Sunday. If you got him on your fantasy team, you better start him. He's the guy. Let's go.
Chargers at Miami. I'm taking the Chargers. I hate to, but I got to do it.
Yeah, you can't go with those Dolphins right now.
No.
And let me ask you this. Hold on before you keep going. I'm definitely going with the Chargers. Do you think this is the possibility of the time that now we're going to see Mike McDaniel fired from the Miami Dolphins?
No.
Why?
I think I can just hold on to him.
No.
You don't think?
So he had the meeting on Monday with the owner. Mm-hmm. The owner publicly has come out and said, I am not happy with the direction and what this team is putting on the field. Yeah. Mike McDaniel has come out and said that the owner said he wasn't happy. Yeah. And also, Mike McDaniel also come out and said some disparaging remarks about his team, some of the players. needs to do better. And we got to have better play out of our quarterback. We've got to have better play out of our defense and all of these things. Go ahead and mark it down. If they get blown out, Mike McDaniel, chopping block, he's gone. Write it down. Let's go.
Oh, well, we'll just move on then. New England at the Saints. I got New England.
Man, that's a hard one. It just seems like these first picks are just terrible. I mean, this is easy.
This game's in New Orleans. It's the second game in a row they're playing in New Orleans. They just beat the Giants at home. You don't think New England could fall at New Orleans?
No, probably not.
Yeah, you're right.
New England has been looking good. Now, does it seem like this New England team is starting to be
No, they're not a playoff team. Don't even think about it.
What?
No, they're not going to the playoffs.
Do you not see how good Drake May's playing?
Don't care.
Do you not see that they're running the ball? Do you not see they're playing good defense?
Weak schedule so far. They barely beat the Dolphins. Come on, man.
That was 3-4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So, you got to look at what they're doing now. What have you done for me today?
I don't care.
And I'm telling you.
They're going to win this game. Whatever their record is at this point. What is it, 3-3 or 4-2?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not making the playoffs.
And that's going to be it?
Yeah, they're out. Yeah. They're not making the playoffs.
Okay. All right. Let's go.
Cleveland at Pittsburgh.
Cleveland at Pittsburgh. Now.
Dylan Gabriel.
Do you like him?
Sure, I like him.
You like him as a quarterback?
Yeah.
You think he's going to be there next year as a starter?
Yeah.
So you think he's the starter for the future?
Well, yeah. Are you bringing back, who's the guy from Clemson, Deshaun Watson?
He's still on the roster.
He's still on the roster for $100 million. Crazy.
Yeah.
But he's still around.
So let me ask you this.
He's QB number 2. Oh, my God.
How is he QB number 2? Okay, so let's...
That's how bad they don't want Shedeur Sanders.
Let's dive into this because you do realize that everybody said after they traded Joe Flacco and they named Dylan Gabriel the starting quarterback, because at the beginning when they named Dylan Gabriel the starting quarterback, Joe Flacco was still on the team.
Yeah.
So they said, okay, so what does that mean exactly? And they said, well, it doesn't mean anything but that Joe Flacco is QB2. And then they traded QB2 to the Bengals. All right. So then everybody, before anything could get out, they name Shedeur Sanders QB2.
Oh, did they?
But they did not ask.
I don't think they did.
Hold on. I said the people.
Oh, the people, yeah.
The online community, the people that we
Stephen
love.
A.
The people that we love to entertain and talk to and talk with. The people named him QB2, but they forgot to ask Stefanski or Kevin Stefanski. Kevin Stefanski says, not yet. He's not number 2. Now check this out. The practice squad quarterback is Bailey Zapp.
Oh.
That was...
It's Zappy, I think it's
pronounced. Zappy, Zap, whatever. You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
He was the quarterback for New England.
Yeah,
He's the one that they started over Mac Jones a couple of times with Bill Belichick.
And he produced.
Some, but he did have some really bad games.
Yeah.
And so Kevin Stefanski said, we're not naming a QB2. Now, how disrespectful is that to Shedeur Sanders?
That's pretty disrespectful.
Wouldn't you say, okay, so you get drafted in the same draft class as Dylan Gabriel, but Dylan Gabriel's getting a start. Dylan Gabriel's getting QB2. Dylan Gabriel's getting named. And then whenever everybody's like, oh, Joe Flacco's gone, then that means Shedeur is number 2. And then Kevin Stefanski from the podium says, no. We haven't named that yet.
Yeah.
So they must know something that we don't know, because everybody all the talking heads, all the online community at the beginning was saying Shedeur. Now everybody's like, okay, well, it must mean he's number 2. They even asked Dion. They asked Dion, hey, now that they traded Joe Flacco, now Shedeur's probably going to be number 2. How do you feel about that? He said, I don't care anything about the Browns whatsoever, but I love my son.
Yeah.
So that lets you know that exactly how daddy feels is exactly how son feels. So they don't trust Shedeur with the team. He's not going to be the starting quarterback. The only way he plays this weekend, as of right now, is if Dylan Gabriel gets hurt.
Yeah.
And if Bailey Zappi, whatever, French, he can either be the QB2 or he's going to be QB3. And then you'll know whether or not they think Shadur Sanders is capable of being a quarterback in the NFL. Not a starting quarterback, but just a quarterback. Because don't you think for a moment that Kevin Stefanski's job's not on the line this year? He's had plenty of time.
Well, is it his second year?
No, he's been there for
third year,
4 or 5 years, I believe. Yeah, I believe so.
I don't think so.
We'll look it up. But either way, But I mean, you can't just push away the fact because it's just like the torpedo bat.
Yeah.
He was everything we talked about for a 2-week period. Shadur Sanders. What's Shadur? Oh, they drafted him. He's going to win the job. He looked great in preseason. He did this. He did that. He can move in the pocket. He's got a strong arm. He's got a quarterback IQ. NFL, whatever. All of these things were said about Shadur Sanders, and now the coach does not have any confidence in him whatsoever, and he's watching him practice. Do you think it's a personal conflict, or do you think this guy's just not good enough to be a starting quarterback in the NFL right now?
He's not good enough to be a starting quarterback in the NFL.
Then why?
Unless he's at a really horrible team like the New Orleans Saints.
But why did they draft him?
Well, I thought they thought he was the best talent for that spot in the 6th round. Was it the 6th round?
Yeah.
6th round, yeah. Best talent. Best available. You know how it says it down at the bottom. Mel Kiper's best available is this lineman that you've never heard of. You know?
Yeah, but another quarterback?
Yeah, it didn't matter position, you know. It's just best available. They do that all the time.
I don't know.
They do that all the time. Jimmy Johnson did it.
Yeah, let's go to the bingo game. Who do they got?
No, we got Broncos at Carolina.
No, we're going bingo game. I want the bingo game.
Oh, you want to go to the Bengals game?
Yeah.
Oh, it's way down the bottom.
I don't care about your list.
Okay, Cincinnati Bengals at Green Bay. 14.5-point favorite for Green Bay.
With Joe Flacco starting at quarterback.
Yes. He'll be the first quarterback in NFL modern history, which means the Super Bowl era, to beat the same team twice with 2 different teams.
In the same year.
In the same year, because he beat, with the Browns, he beat the Packers in the comeback win, right? 13-10.
Yep.
And then now he's playing with the Bengals, and him to beat the Packers at the Packers, it ain't happening. 14.5-point favorite is the biggest spread of the weekend. The next biggest spread is 7.5. So it's almost double.
Do you think not only they're going to win, but they're going to cover the spread?
Wow. I think if Cincinnati, because Cincinnati's not going to put up 10 points. If they put up 10 points, the Packers could put up 27 easy and cover the spread.
Yeah.
I almost want to say that this spread is actually pretty close. Yeah. I'm not totally on taking the Packers.
Who are you taking, the Packers?
Well, I am taking them to win.
Yeah.
But just not win by
Me too.
14.5.
But Joe Flacco, he might put some points on the board with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins.
Wow.
But either way, when we come back, it'll be tomorrow and it'll be Friday. So we're excited. Have a great day. You've been listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson here at 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida. We'll see you tomorrow.
Get in the game. Call or text us now on the Red 7T studio line. 850-215-6290. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida is your home for the NFL.
Touchdown, Denver!
We bring you the biggest games every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night.
Oh, he's got the first down!
Plus, we'll broadcast more college football games than ever before.
He did